What's up, resellers? I'm Rebecca and you're watching Rebecca the Reseller. Thank you for joining me today for another What Sold on Poshmark video. If you are new here, hi, I'm Rebecca. I am a semi-full-time reseller. I sell on Poshmark and ThreadUp, and I dabble in a couple other things, just a few. My channel is all about reselling, how to increase your Poshmark sales, Poshmark tips and tricks, and videos like this, What Sold on Poshmark. So if you're new, please consider subscribing. Always want to remind you to check out the description down below. That's where I keep all the good stuff. So all of the ways that you can be in touch with me, all of the things that I recommend, and all of my reseller tools. This week, I ran a 70% off closet clear out sale for the Super Bowl. Do you think I was profitable? Stay tuned to find out. This week, I do have to report though, I did over 100, no. This week, I am so excited to report I did $1,199 in sales overall. And I'm excited to share with you what sold on Poshmark this week. Let's get started with a quick sales summary. Okay, hopefully this works. I had this graphic up one week and then I realized like the background on my computer just didn't look quite right. You kind of saw like part of my dog. So I skipped it last week, and this week, hopefully all the bugs are worked out and I can share with you a graphic so you can actually see these numbers while I talk about them. So we are going over the numbers for February 6th through February 12th, 2021. And around this week, I had about 750 items active. I listed 67 items, and for me, my goal is to do 10 per day over the course of a week. And so I'm 3 off the pace this week. Every once in a while, I will set up all of my items and then realize that there's a flaw and not list it. That's kind of where I end up with like, I should be doing 70. I had planned out 70, but in the end, I only ended up listing 67. Close enough. So the value of the items that I listed was $4,110. Now let's talk about the sales. So that was the production. That's what I put into it. The number of sales I had was 66 sales. So as you can see, I listed 67 items and I sold 66 items, which is pretty good. And I've said before, I try to be anywhere between selling half of what I list or the exact amount of what I list. And usually I'm somewhere in between. Now, again, I did run the giant 70% off closet clear out sale this week. And so that had a lot to do with it. Be sure to stay tuned till the end to find out how the profit worked out on this. So for the total value of sales, as I mentioned, it was $1,199. My ASP did go down a little bit this week. Last week, it was amazing. So if you didn't check out that video, definitely check out last week's What Sold video. But this week, my ASP was $18.16. And this is really due to the fact that I had some great sales, but I also sold several items at a discount at this 70% off clearance. So as you can imagine, my ASP did go down. But even for selling so many items on the closet clear out and on the 70% off, $18 for an ASP is still pretty good. So my average day was $171. For me and my reselling goals that I really would like to see for myself by the end of this year, I want to be doing about $283 in reselling sales. And so for me, 171 is not quite cutting it. So I have a lot of work to do as I ramp up listing more, as I add additional platforms, and as I really do more with my reselling. I do like to include the boutique report. So for those of you that don't know, I like selling boutique items as well as thrifted items. A lot of times people will bundle them together. And so for me, having both is a great way to scale up my business, because the boutique items, I can list it once, restock them as they sell, and they sell again and again without any additional work. I do have a course all about how I run my boutique, what I order, when I order, how I order, all my vendors, everything, and that's linked down below. So for the boutique this week, I sold $318 worth of boutique items. So that's the sales summary. Now let's dive in to the actual sales. Okay, so as usual, I like to just go ahead and scroll through the sales that I've had for the week so you can kind of just get an idea. I pulled up the particular dates. I think I said this was the 6th of February through the 12th of February. And so we've got a good amount of sales. Again, 66 sales. So I'm just like going. Okay, so let's dive into some actual sales, because I'm not going to share everything with you and I want to try to be expeditious about this. So this is Hot Hippie Silk Floral Maxi Skirt with short, it sold for $30. So this was an item that was sold, I'm pretty sure, on the clearance sale. It was priced at $100, and so 70% off gets you to the $30. So that was a good sale. And again, I'm going to talk about profit at the end, so stay tuned for that. This is a new with tags Anthro Plenty by Tracy Reese floral retro dress, like a fit and flare dress. That sold for $30. This is a bundle of 2 hats. You know, I've been talking about a lot of hats recently. These are 2 different kinds of hats that are in my boutique, and it's sold on a bundle offer, $40 with free shipping. I ended up earning $24, so this did not sell as part of the clearance sale, but still made great profit on this. And again, with boutique items, I've listed it once, so I can sell as many as I want. I just keep restocking them, and there's no additional work needed other than shipping it out, which when it's a sale, I'm happy to do that work to ship out the item. That doesn't even seem like work. I like doing the shipping when I know it means I made a sale. Talbot's red cashmere sweater vest. This sold for an offer of $29. This particular item sold to a lovely lady who has purchased several items from my closet over the course of a week or 2. She's made several purchases, so I'm very grateful for this person that has made several orders from my closet. It's been wonderful. This is a boutique bundle, and so it includes this lace lingerie, earrings, the necklace, and the belt. And so for all of that, this did not sell on the clearance offer, but the offer was $30 because I think it was during the clearance, and so the person had received obviously the offers on all the different items. So I tried to kind of keep with the same pricing, and so she got an offer of $30. Again, I ended up with $24, and that's the thing about boutique items. Some are very expensive, but some are not, and so I was able to still make a pretty good profit on that particular purchase. Up next is an Equipment signature silk shirt in true black. I do like Equipment. I think it's a great brand. It has been sold at Revolve, or maybe is still sold at Revolve, but I do have trouble. I don't know if it's that I sometimes have older styles or what. So I have sold several Equipment pieces, but they're not like flying off the shelves for me. And it is expensive, and this is a silk shirt, but it's sold on 70% off. So the offer was $27. Next up also is this Escada abstract blouse, and this also sold for $27. So again, these are higher value items that I was able to price at a higher value. And then even with the 70% off, I'm still making a good profit in comparison to my buy cost, which we'll talk about at the end. Next up is a new Tags Maxine of Hollywood one-piece swimsuit, and this was from my Ross markdown clearance extravaganza, where I just went to all the Rosses in the area when they have their annual markdown, and I was able to get brand new with tags items, retail arbitrage for very cheap. This probably cost me $2.49, I think most of the bathing suits were. So to be able to flip that, again, this was sold on the clearance. I think this was actually one of the first items to sell once the offer started going out. Even with $22, still a good profit on this. Next up is a Dress the Population Marie lace midi dress, and so I think this is also a Revolve brand. This may have been an item that I purchased on ThredUp, perhaps with points. Dress the Population, and it sold for $45. This is a Jameson wool cashmere blend open front cardigan with like a gold chain detail on the pockets and on the trim, and so this was up for $100. And then 70% off, it sold for $30. You know how I love my cashmere. New with tags, Maxine of Hollywood one-piece swimsuit. Again, this is also from the Ross markdown sale, and this also sold for $22 with the same relative buy cost, so $249 on that. So now I'm going to share with you a couple of sales that are like you know, they're the normal kinds of sales, or they're a sale that is maybe a snafu as a result of this 70% off clearance, and then we'll get into talking about the profit. This is a J. Crew asymmetrical zip wool pencil skirt. Just your basic J. Crew skirt. I usually have these up for $50. So this sold on the 70% off clearance, puts you at $15. A lot of people sell J. Crew skirts for $15, but I could have maybe sold it at $50. I could have maybe sold it at 30% off. I could have maybe sold it at 50% off. You just don't know. For me, I like to do a lot of deep discounts. So for this particular example, having it up at 50 allowed me to gather likes, and someone could have bought it at any point along the way. I do progressive offer to likers mostly, and so I offer 10% off. I offer 20% off. I offer 30% off. Sometimes I offer 50% off. You've heard me kind of share with you sales that have resulted from a 50% off offer to likers. This time I did did a 70% closet clear out, and that's when it sold. And we'll talk about my average buy cost here in a second, but I'm still making money on this item. And so it's nice to be able to price things a little bit higher so that you have the opportunity to offer these deep discounts. Is it worth doing all of the work just to get where you're making less than $10? No, it's not. And so that's why I'm less and less carrying J. Crew and some basic bread and butter brands, because I don't want it to be worth my time. I don't want my time to be worth that little. But I will say, when you are wanting to clearance things out, you can't hem and haw over every single item and wanting to get top dollar. Either you want to get top dollar or you want to sell and move things. And so as long as you're not losing money on items, it's okay to let an item go for less than what you think the value is. Because again, doesn't matter what you think the value is. It matters what the buyer thinks the value is. So for me, I just wanted to kind of bring this particular sale up because no, it's not great. And I don't love these kinds of sales. But what I do love is the fact that this item is no longer in my inventory. I got my initial investment back, which we'll talk about the cost of goods, and I got a profit. That person got a great deal. I moved the item. I can move on to something else. Here's a couple more that are not so great. Sisley printed button front blouse. I don't know why I picked this up. I actually bought it at a Goodwill retail. Like, I can't tell you. I think I just got completely befuddled by being in a thrift store again. It was just not a good pickup. So I think I had it up for $25. It was $7 minus the ship, my God, I cannot talk right now. It was $7, which was down from $25 for the 70% off clearance. Then it was a $2.95 POSHMARK fee, leaving me $4.05. So that was terrible. Next up is this White House Black Market. And so this, the J. Crew, and the next one that I'm going to talk about is all in the same boat. Bread and butter items that I used to sell all the time, am happy to sell, have still put them in my closet, but I am limited on space, I'm limited on time, and I want to continue to challenge myself. And so I let this go for $7, same like the Sisley, same like this next one, Brooks Brothers Natalie pants, $7. So on those items that sold for $7, given my average cost, which we'll talk about now, my average cost is $4.31. This is for year to date. This is my 2021 cost of goods, $4.31. On these last few items, I lost money. And you might think, that's stupid, Rebecca. What is wrong with you? Like, why are you trying to lose money? I'm not trying to lose money, but I do look at everything overall on an average. So now let's back up and look at this week and see if I was profitable. I did $1,199 in sales. I usually figure on 30% fees between shipping discounts, the 20% off Poshmark fee, or the $2.95 Poshmark fee if it's under $15, which sometimes, depending on the actual sale price, can be more than 20%. Sometimes it can be like 40 and 50% depending on what you're selling it at. So after 30% estimated fees, $839.30. So that's what I made after fees. Now my cost of goods, as I said, was $4.31. Multiply that by the 66 items that I sold this week. My cost of goods for what I sold this week was $284.46. I made a profit of $554.84. So even though I did a 70% off clearance sale, I still profited $554 off of 66 items. So let's just, I didn't do that math. So let's just see what that is. So 554 divided by 66 items is $8.39 an item. Is that ideal? No, but that's my profit. That's not too bad. I think a lot of us say, as long as I'm profiting $10 or whatever, that's fine. So for me, I still feel like it was a good week because I did over $1,000 in sales. I still profited basically I had a 50% profit margin here. I moved items that I no longer wanted around and freed up some space for myself. I gave people really good deals for Super Bowl, but here's the thing. The Hot Hippie, the Anthro, the equipment, the Escada, they're higher end things that are valued higher. And so I price them at $100 or $75 or whatever. And so even though I'm doing 70% off, there's still a good profit margin in comparison to other things. If you go back to the Hot Hippie, $30 minus $4.31, my profit is still $25.69. So yeah, that averages out with the Natalie pant from Brooks Brothers that, you know, I only made, or I lost money on. But if you take the two together and average them out, I'm still ahead. And so no, it's not an ideal way to operate your business by operating at a loss for many items. But as you can see here, those were in the minority. And overall, from all the sales I did, I pulled out pretty much all the ones that I lost money on to show you that specific example. All the other 66 sales that I had in total were profitable. And so I'm okay to lose money on a few items to get them gone and give someone a great deal and keep things moving through, recouping my investment, moving on. And so that $4 that I got from Brooks Brothers pants basically covered the cost of that item. And so now that's basically a wash. I'm 30 cents off. But the Hot Hippie sale more than covers for it. So this is one of those weeks where I'm willing to say I'm not perfect, and willing to say that sometimes when you run a sale, you might lose money. But I knew that going into it. This wasn't a surprise to me. I knew that there were certain items that were priced at a certain level that were not going to work out. But I figured if I move them, they're gone now, and I cannot make that mistake again. And so over time, as you do these sales, perhaps weed out the things that are of lower value, clearance out things, get rid of them, you are able to replace them with higher end things that can absorb a sale. So more things like the Hot Hippie skirt that I can, you know, that's a $200 item that I can list for $100. And if I did decide to do another 70% off sale, I could sell it for $30, buy cost is $4, and I'm still making $26. The more of those I have, the better. So I like to be real with you guys. I like to share the good and the bad and the ugly of reselling. I like doing deep discounts. To me, it's fun, it's exciting, it's a way to move things, it's a way to draw attention, and most of the things in my closet can handle it. And the things that can't get moved out, get sold, and I move on from there and try to fill my store with other things that can handle that sale. So you don't have to do 70% off. You don't have to do closet clear out. You don't have to do 50% off. Do what works for you. But I like showing you different things and how it worked out for me, and that you could have a week like this where you do have a really deep discount and still make $500 profit in a week. And I still think that's pretty good. Remember, I'm only listing 10 items a day. It's not like I'm listing 25 items a day, doing, slaving over photos and stuff. 10 items a day is easy peasy. Do keep that in mind as well. So this was a lot of talk at the end. I apologize, but I do hope that the commentary this week gives you something to think about in, deciding what is the right kind of strategy for your store. Pricing things low, hoping for them to sell, pricing them high, allowing yourself room to accept and send offers, doing a big blowout sale to get rid of things. There's all kinds of ways that you can do it. None of them is right. None of them is wrong. You do what works for you. So thanks so much for joining me for this video. I do hope that you had great sales this week, and I would love to hear your comments on my profit. Tell me your comments on what you thought went down this week. Was it good? Was it bad? Could you stomach that week? Could you not stomach that week? Would you ever send out 70% off? Let me know in the comments below. I always say hi back. Like the video on the way out and subscribe so we can hang out again. I'll see you in the next video. Go ahead and watch whatever they're showing you next. I'm sure it's going to be a great video from me. See you next time. Bye.